Let us talk about the brief background on our speaker today. Sir Benj de Paz is a co-founder and head of engineering at XLD Finance. He was the founder and CTO of HappyPoints.ph, an all-in-one loyalty platform for small businesses. He also worked with fintech and telco companies such as Salle, Celarium, and Globe as a full-stack developer to develop innovation projects. Furthermore, Google awarded him as a Google Student Ambassador and a Google Developer Group Advocate for almost 7 years. He founded 3 startups right after college: CodeFasi, an Uber for coding mentors and learners; FunBuddies.ph, an activity sharing site to reduce cost of travel for 50,000 users; and finally, Happy Books, an online bookstore that delivers books to your doorstep. And lastly, while in college, he also interned and became a lead on researching innovations at the game firm partnered with Plants vs. Zombies, Zuma, and now Rick and Morty. So I think that covers all of his credentials. So I will be giving the floor to Sir Benj de Paz as he introduces us to the world of crypto and blockchain.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Sir Jim, Christian, and Clive, and then the rest of the guys. Again, I'm Benj. I do crypto development with our startup. We're a team of 20 people. I'll try to demo our application later. Let's focus first on why I fell in love with cryptocurrency, why I fell in love with blockchain. Before currency started as a barter, so let's say, for example, Clive and Sheridan would trade tomatoes and apple. For example, Clive has 3 tomatoes and then Sheridan has 4 apples or 3 apples. They can change that, called the barter system. But then apples and tomatoes are perishable. In order for it to be replaced, people in the past used gold. But gold is very heavy, it's non-transferable. And then we went to coins. And then we went to paper. And then we went to now credit cards. And then electronic money where there's Gcash. And now cryptocurrency. So that's the focus of this talk. So the summary is, since Clive already gave my background, I'll be focusing now on crypto economy, blockchain, the use cases, our startup, which is XLD, and then we'll do Q&A, and I'll just focus on the crypto economics. So there's the difference. So cryptocurrency is the economics, and there's blockchain, the cryptocurrency. It's often referred as the money of the internet because you can send it through the internet, right? It's not backed by fiat. Let's say, for example, if you're using Gcash, yeah, you can send money on the internet, but there's peso backing. Whereas cryptocurrency, once you send it on the internet, that's actually the money you're sending. Let's say, for example, you're sending 1 Bitcoin. There's no gold or fiat currency at the back, right? It's you're actually sending Bitcoin. So that's the difference between cryptocurrency and fiat. Some of the skeptics will think that up to now, cryptocurrency is still a scam, right? In 2014, it was nothing. But then comes 2018, the value of cryptocurrency is at $850 billion. In 2021, just this year, cryptocurrency is valued at $3 trillion. The gold market cap is at $10 trillion. So we are at 30%. If you still think that cryptocurrency is a scam, these are the companies that support cryptocurrency. It's PayPal, Mastercard, Visa, even banks like Citibank, Elon Musk, Tesla, Twitter, Coinbase, Finance, and even NBA, they support cryptocurrency. There's a reason why. Let's say, for example, for banks, why do they need to support cryptocurrency? The answer is that they have to, else they will become obsolete. It's just saying that, hey, we have Nokia phones. We don't want to support an iPhone. Same goes with money and cryptocurrency. Our money today, THP, US dollars, it's like the Nokia of early 2000. When we move to, say, an iPhone, that's going to be cryptocurrencies already. It won't be fiat. So let me give you a background of how big the crypto market is. So let's use the king, which is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the biggest cryptocurrency in the world and the first cryptocurrency that was launched. Are you guys using credit cards? So they are usually powered by Visa, Mastercard, and PayPal, right? So if you combine the value of those companies, it's only 1.09 trillion. Bitcoin alone is 1.11 trillion. The three biggest payment gateways in the entire world is shadowed by the entire market cap of Bitcoin. So just imagine the potential, guys, of Bitcoin in the future. That's the reason why I can confidently say that cryptocurrency is really the future if you see this chart, because there are problems, a lot of problems, especially if you look at gold, if you look at paper money, if you look at electronic money. There's a lot of problems, and I will explain why. So before we go to the problems, let's focus first on the economics of money. There's inflationary, there's deflationary, there's fixed and flexible. So for inflationary, these are the money that keeps on increasing in value. So let's say, for example, our government can just print money on the go. The US, they keep on printing trillions of dollars, making our money less powerful. And deflationary is if the supply of the money keeps on going down. Let's say, for example, if you transact to a store, they would burn it. So it's called deflationary. And then fixed, similar to Bitcoin, I'll discuss it in a bit. And then flexible, if the supply keeps on going up and down. So let's focus on inflationary. Our government keeps on printing fiat money. So for example, our PHP, they keep on printing it, increasing our supply, and it will make your holdings weak. This is the main pain point now. So if the government keeps on printing money, the value of our, let's say, for example, PHP or US dollars keep on decreasing. If you're paying the Jeep during my time, it was around 7 pesos. And then you're paying now, let's say 10 or 20. It's because of inflation. If you buy Starbucks at $2.75, now it's close to $4. So imagine the price leap. It's because of inflation. But then Bitcoin is not inflating in value because the supply keeps on decreasing. If you save in a bank, the inflation rate in the Philippines is roughly 5%. And then if you're saving, let's say, for example, on GCash, you'll yield 2.1. I know you guys are still students. I hope some of you guys are starting to save already. Don't spend your allowance partying. Really save it for your future. Spend your money wisely while you're in college. That's one thing I've learned. For example, if you're starting to save now, so the inflation rate of the Philippines is 5%, right? And let's say you have a savings account at BDO. The interest rate is 0.25. So you're saving to lose money. There's a reason why. There's a lot of operations costs. They have banks, they have ATMs, they have employees to pay, they have electricity and water bills to pay. There's so many things. That's the reason why the APY keeps on getting lower. And then the worst one is, of course, Union Bank, 0.10%. So you're losing 4.6% of your money every year. So comes Bitcoin. Bitcoin will always be 21 million in supply. That's the reason why if you check the price of Bitcoin now, it's around $60,000 because it's scarce, right? It's similar to gold. It's similar to real estate. It doesn't grow. It doesn't inflate. It doesn't grow in supply. Arguably, it can also be deflationary because there are coins that are lost. So because it's stored in a computer, right? So if your computer breaks or if you forgot your keys on your wallet, then those coins will be out of circulation. It's considered gone already. But Bench, there are 8 people in the world. How can 21 million in supply benefit all of us? The answer here is, unlike our normal currency, let's say PHP or USD, where we support only 2 decimal places, Bitcoin supports up to 8 decimal places, which is 1 Satoshi. For example, if you buy from SM, there are times that 1 shirt or 1 pants would cost you $499.50. So there's only 2 decimal places there. Whereas if you use Bitcoin, it's up to 8 decimal places. So that's the reason why 1 Bitcoin is really valuable. 1 Bitcoin is currently valued at $60,000. And then it's considered store of value or digital gold. Similar to real estate and gold, Bitcoin is also scarce. I don't think real estate and gold are that scarce because On a daily basis, we discover gold. I'm not sure of the numbers, but last time I heard, the inflation rate of gold is 2%. And then real estate also is not scarce. And the reason why is there are condominiums. You can build buildings on top of the lot. For example, in a condo, it's one lot, but you can build, let's say, 500 houses every year. So it's not that scarce. And another thing that's the advantage of cryptocurrency is that you can yield 200%. So imagine the difference. If you're saving in Gcash, guys, this is not a financial advice. Cryptocurrency is a very risky endeavor, and just showing you the APYs that we can benefit from cryptocurrency. So how is this possible? It's because of technology called the smart contract that's being hosted on the blockchain. If you use smart contracts to pay for, let's say, for example, I will send you guys 1 Bitcoin for coffee. I'll send you guys 100 USDT for coffee. It would be peer-to-peer. So it's not going to go within banks, meaning there's no bank to pay, there's no employee to pay, there's no electricity bills to pay. It's all running on code based on smart contracts. And I will show you later how we utilize smart contract on our startup. There's this concept of custodian. So if you save your money in the bank, let's say, for example, you have savings there, your money will be owned by the bank. So there's additional cost there because they're going to secure your money. They're going to pay for security guards. Not a problem there. But there's a better way to optimize that. I'm not against banks, guys, because my mother was also working for a bank. It would be insensitive to say that I'm against banks. But what I'm saying is there's a better way now. There's a better technology to do this one. And remittance also. So if you, for example, you have parents in the United States, you have parents in Dubai, you have parents outside of the Philippines, and they want to pay for your tuition. Imagine, guys, the steps before they go to you. Like, for example, in El Salvador, $400 million per year goes to Western Union. That's really greedy to pay 20 to 40% of your hard-earned money to those institutions. Because your parents are working really hard abroad to pay for your tuition, to pay for your allowances, to pay for your projects, and school to pay for your laptops. Why would an institution get 10%, 20%, sometimes 40%? From the remittance? Those middlemen are usually the bad guys in between. So that's the reason why in El Salvador, Bitcoin is considered a currency already. Like, you can buy coffee from a sari-sari store, you can buy McDonald's using Bitcoin, you can buy Starbucks using Bitcoin. So that's how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are changing the world. DeFi protocols. If you think that smart contracts or cryptocurrencies are scary, there are already close to $250 billion saved on DeFi protocols. So DeFi means decentralized finance, meaning there's no middleman in between. It's just an application with smart contracts. Let's say Aave. Aave is one of the biggest protocol there. So if I go to aave.com, so you can see here that they have close to $30 billion already. That's even bigger than our banks in the Philippines. So it's all running on code. If you, let's say, for example, deposit or borrow, like, for example, here, the APY is 3.9, right? It's bigger than our banks because there's no middleman in between. The middleman is just the code in smart contracts, and it's maintained by the community. Another one is better banking. Let me show you an example. So I actually, earlier, I minted, so don't worry, this is just testnet. I minted a USLS coin on the Ethereum blockchain just to demo that it's super easy to build. For example, if I go to something like Uniswap, and I have one wallet, guys. So for example, I have one wallet. This is my wallet. So if I go to Uniswap, I have a wallet already. The normal behavior is, number one, for example, if you're going to register to BDO, you're going to create an account, you're going to send your ID, you're going to wait for them to approve your account, and then you're going to join their mobile app. So it will take you 3 days or 1 week to process a bank account. If you're going to sign up for BPI again, for another savings account, you're going to do pretty much the same. You're going to pass your IDs. You're going to pass your requirements. You're going to fill up a very long form. You're going to wait for a few days for approval. And then they're going to give you a card. You're going to log into your mobile app. It's annoying. Here, you just created a non-custodial wallet. Non-custodial meaning you are the master of your own wallet. You just connect it here, regardless of what application. I don't need to register to a bank. I just need, for example, one Ethereum, one Bitcoin, and I can already process. Let's say, for example, I'm gonna change my ETH to USDT. I can do it already here. And then, for example, if I go to Aave, which is another DeFi protocol. One example here, guys, is that you want to transact, for example, consider Uniswap as BDO, and then when you move to Aave, it's BPI. I can use the same account. You don't need to register. You don't need KYC anymore as long as you have funds. For example, I'm gonna connect my wallet. You get the idea. You can connect across different apps. Let's say I'm gonna go again to Compound. Compound, think of it as like the Metro Bank of the Philippines. I just go to their app. I'm just gonna connect my wallet. I'm gonna connect to MetaMask. MetaMask is already connected. There you go. Imagine, guys, you're transacting 3 different banks using one single account. I just went to the internet. I just used MetaMask, or there's another one, Phantom Wallet for Solana. There's so many wallets out there that's Web3, that's DeFi supported. One wallet across different banks in the world. You don't need to go to BPI, you don't need to go to BDO, you don't need to go to Metrobank. Just one bank. If we demo XLD, so this is our application, I can just connect my wallet. There you go. So I connected my wallet. It's the same wallet I used before. I use it on Uniswap. I use it on Compound. Now I can purchase load. Let's say, for example, I'm going to type in my number. I'm going to use my USDT. Click on pay. Now, I'm paying on my behalf. I don't need to say, hey, BDO, pay for this transaction. Hey, BPI, pay for this transaction. I can do it on my own without an intermediary. It's way convenient. It's way cheaper because there's no middleman in between. Your funds, you hold it, you are in control. You just need to sign it on the browser. And it's done via the blockchain and it's super secure, which I'll explain also in a bit. So let's say, for example, you're in Bacolod. You're going to pay for your water bills. Bacolod Water District. Say, Sir Jim, 1,000 pesos. Pay. I need to just sign my non-custodial wallet. I already paid the bill. That's it. It's that easy. That's how DeFi works. When I first started exploring on DeFi, I was mind blown with the technology. And then countries are already adopting it. Like, for example, Bitcoin. Even if you go to a sari-sari store, they're accepting Bitcoin. That's the advantage of cryptocurrencies, guys. There's this technology called the blockchain, which is the technology that runs cryptocurrencies. For me, it's the greatest invention after the internet. Yeah, there's Elon Musk is building electric cars. Elon Musk is building SpaceX. But the reach is not yet that global. You can only get Tesla, let's say, for example, in the US, in Hong Kong, only in a few places. Now, blockchain can be accessed globally. Blockchain spread like COVID-19. It went global like a virus. And what's the advantage of the blockchain now? Number one, it's tamper-proof and secured by a ledger. Because, for example, I'm working in BDO and I have a BDO account. I can change my balance on the cloud without anyone noticing. But then you can build a ledger. You can build an activities log. Your log can still be edited on the cloud. And blockchain can solve that problem. But then how can you make sure that blockchain is tamper-proof? It's distributed. For example, si Sir Jim, si Clive, si Cheridin, si Christian, we can all have copies of the database. And it has consensus layer. So let's say, for example, sorry, Christian, we're friends, pero I'll give this as a bad example. For example, si Chris, medyo dayaan siya. And he changed his balance from 100 to 1 million. So, since my data si Sir Jim, si Clive, si Sheridan, and me, I can say that, hey, Christian, your data is wrong. We're gonna delete that. So there's a consensus layer happening on the background. So that's the advantage. And this is done through mining. So let me give you an example. This is a perfect example of the blockchain. What we agreed upon, so this, for example, this is Clive. Clive, Sheridan, Sir Jim agreed that the balance of Christian is 100. So if Christian said that my balance was 1 million, it turns red. So we know that Christian is not telling the truth because what we recorded before was 100 instead of 1 million. So let's delete this one. So your blockchain will be kicked out of the system because you're not telling the truth. What if we join forces? That's the problem. There's so many validators in the world. China, there's US, there's Singapore, there's Philippines. There's so many countries that's operating on the blockchain. It's really hard to bypass the security of the blockchain. Another advantage is it's permissionless. So kanina, I shown you the USLS token I created on the blockchain. I just created it without asking the blockchain, guys, I need to deploy a smart contract. I can deploy it on the fly. And it's a global protocol and you don't need API keys and secret. For example, you're going to deploy Gcash in other countries. You can't do that because Gcash is controlling the data. It's stored in a cloud. It's only Gcash who can access their own data. Blockchain is changing our world, guys. It's now, for example, Facebook now controls your data. Here I stated that it's now the people who controls your data. Even though if, for example, China bans Bitcoin, Bitcoin is still here. They couldn't stop Bitcoin because it's bigger than China. Even if US bans Bitcoin, it's still gonna run because it's distributed. Everyone can be a validator. Even you, if you have a GPU, I'm not sure if it's still profitable if you mine using your GPU to earn Bitcoin. It's really hard, guys, to stop. It's censorship resistant, meaning no one can delete something on the blockchain. It's permissionless. Anyone can join the community. You don't need a CEO. So Bitcoin is one of the biggest companies who doesn't have a CEO. Arguably, it's public for, let's say, for example, if you want to stop corruption, PhilHealth, 100K desktops, 200K laptops. There's a level of parang corruption prevention also, which is a good thing. And then now there's NFT. NFT naman is used for gaming, and it's good if, for example, there's two types of coin, guys. One is fungible and then the other is non-fungible. Fungible meaning you can own as many. Let's say, for example, you can own 6 Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoins. So one owner can own many. But then for NFT, it's only single ownership. Let's say, for example, the perfect here is digital art. One of the most expensive digital art is People's NFT. Beeple is a very successful artist, but he didn't start as successful. On a daily basis, he made art. And then after 5,000 days, he made it a collage, very beautiful collage, and someone bought it for $69 million. For game assets, diba, if you play, for example, Dota, if you play Counter-Strike, if you buy game assets, it will stay in the game. You can never move it around. Whereas if you buy NFT, it's running on the blockchain. Pwede mo siya, guys, mabaylo. For example, if ang game assets mo sa Dota, ibaylo mo sa Counter-Strike. Ownership also like music, real estate titles, identity, and diploma. Sky's the limit in the blockchain. So everything we do now on the cloud, we can do everything on the blockchain. This is our project, the one I shown you before. It's Finance. What we're doing is we're making crypto easy for everyone. You want to pay for your load, you want to pay for your bills. You can do that using cryptocurrency, and it's anywhere in the world. For example, your parents can buy you load, di ba, can pay for your bills in Hong Kong, in Dubai, in the US using cryptocurrency. The fees are better also because you don't need to convert your USD, your Hong Kong dollars, and then convert it into fiat and buy it into load. It's solving a lot of problems also, guys. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much. So I'll stop here. I hope the presentation wasn't information overload. I'll share this presentation on my Twitter later so you guys can check my slides after this. That's my time. There you go. So we have a question from Matthew. He asked what are the common misconceptions about crypto that you wish to enlighten the public? It's true that there are cryptocurrencies that are really scammy. Like earlier, I created USLS token. So if you heard USLS token, you might think that it's legit, right? Because I created it, I posted it online. That's the disadvantage of being permissionless also. What you need to do to validate if the coin is really legit is you go to sites like CoinMarketCap and then know about the stats of the token. So let's say, for example, the USLS token that I created earlier, it's not found here. So meaning it's not legit. It's not a legit token. And make sure that there's a community around it. Let's say, for example, again, Bitcoin is the number one token in the world with a market cap. Market cap usually is the amount of tokens in circulation times the price of Bitcoin. So if you multiply 58 or 59,000 times the circulating supply, that's the market cap. So look at the market cap, look at the community. Again, guys, this is not financial advice. Don't engage with cryptocurrency while you are a student because this is really, really volatile, guys. This is a crazy market. Sometimes the price of Bitcoin is at 60, sometimes it's at 30. So maybe after you graduate, try a portion of your salary, play around with cryptocurrency. Currently, as a student, don't invest yet. You have another one, which is how competitive is crypto market in Asia? It's really big, except for China, of course. The reason that they don't like cryptocurrency in China is that they have their own digital token. It's a conflict of interest, really. So there are so many tokens already that's really big. Let's say, for example, YGG is in Asia, Axie Infinity is made in Asia. And if you can look at their market cap, it's 8 billion. Let's search for YGG. YGG, guys, is made by Filipinos also. YGG is 600 million in valuation. So just imagine, guys, it's still early. The potential is very big. And then for Angelo Geronimo, you ask about SLP. Does it use the current market value of the tokens? Yeah. So we're basing it also on the USD value. That's where we base the SLP payment. So if we go again, let me open the app first. Angela, are you playing Axie Infinity? Assuming you're playing Axie Infinity, just send thumbs up if you do. Say, for example, you're going to pay for your water bill. I pay using SLP. Angelo Geronimo. Let's say, for example, 1,000 PHP. So the amount there will be calculated. So you'll need to pay 313.25 SLP. That's how easy it is. So I am assuming that you are playing Axie Infinity. That's how easy our platform is. Hopefully you can pay in Bitcoin and in Ethereum in the future. Is there a chance, or what's the chance of Bitcoin being obsolete or valueless in the future, or cryptocurrency in general? So yeah, I think Bitcoin, there's a problem with Bitcoin currently. One is the fees, right? Because it's super decentralized. People are competing for space in the blockchain. And in order for it to become obsolete or valueless in the future, and I don't think people would want to do that, is all of the validators would go out. Let's say, for example, hey, China and US, we're gonna ban Bitcoin. And that's not gonna happen because there are people in the Philippines, in Singapore and Vietnam, in other countries, let's say Russia, for example, who's validating Bitcoin? And I'm not sure if you're here when I was discussing the problems with money. If you're already on Bitcoin and you see my slides earlier, if you think about, let's say, for example, inflation, the constant printing of money of the government, you would rather choose cryptocurrencies. I really hate cash because of corruption. I don't want to get political, but that's the sad truth in our country. So another question is, since the hash system is validated by mining system and miner has the ability to send modified on the demo we did earlier, it's just distributed and there's a consensus mechanism in there. So let's say, for example, you send a modified ledger and 70% of which disagreed with your ledger because it's distributed, there's a consensus layer, you will be kicked out of the system. There's a disincentive if you do that. Number one, you don't get rewards. You spent electricity and you didn't get any Bitcoins or Ethereum if you're mining Ethereum. That's your penalty for doing that. Another question is, if it's just one computer with low spec, if it's a low spec, I don't think you can validate as much because it's global. Everyone is competing for computing power, using video cards, using ASICs. So you can research for ASICs later. It's a specialized CPU just for mining. That's another technology you can look at. But what if big tech companies enter the scene and modify the ledger about receiving crypto and abuse the system? It's distributed. China is one of the biggest continents in the world. Even if they block Bitcoin is still running. Even if they block Ethereum is still running. You know why? It's distributed. Even if it's Facebook who tried to tamper with the ledger, there's so many countries who's doing the validation. So I don't think you can really do just that. That's the reason why I told you earlier, guys, that blockchain is one of the best technologies after the internet in terms of scale. It could be AI, it could be driverless cars, it could be electric cars, it could be the SpaceX, but the reach is not as big as, let's say, for example, blockchain or Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's in my opinion, one of the biggest innovation after the internet. How do you get sad during bear market right now? That's a good question. I don't. Again, not financial advice. I do DCA, so I dollar cost average. I've been here since 2016. I've experienced the 20K, then it went down to 3,000. That's way painful. And that was some of the altcoins lost, let's say, for example, 95%. So if you encounter this 30% dips, just imagine the emotions we've encountered during 2017. Last March, it went down 50%. For me personally, if it dips, I don't really care at the moment because I'm here for the technology, right? Since I'm a developer, I couldn't care less of the price. I don't look at it anymore. I just look at where crypto is going. If you search Bitcoin, how many people are searching Bitcoin? If you go to Twitter, how many hashtag Bitcoin is there? On a daily basis, there's 300K. Or Ethereum, for example. Michael, this is a really good question. Cryptocurrencies are not yet taxed in the Philippines because it's not legal tender. It will be only taxed if you convert it into PHP. For example, if you're earning Axie Infinity and you're earning more than 250,000 pesos every year, that's already taxable. If you're earning less than that, you don't need to pay for taxes. Not a financial advice you would rather ask. Let's say, for example, if you have a manager, it would be better if you can ask them. Can you tell us how your career affected your personal life? I've been in the startup space ever since. I failed a couple of startups. Personal life, I don't think it's a big thing. I'm still enjoying. I'm still exercising, eating well. Hopefully, the pandemic is over. So this December, I'll go to Bacolod, Kaunta, Chicken Inasal, Bob's, Kalea. So thoughts on Shiba Inu? Don't invest on shitcoins, guys. You would rather invest on the future. So if you earn from, let's say, the likes of Shiba Inu, Squid Game, by reading it, it's you'd already know that it's a scam. Like the one I showed you, I created USLS token earlier. Even if me, right, I can create a token, share it on the internet. But it would break your reputation also. So don't, as much as possible, don't invest in things like that. So my investment criteria is based on the technology. How well are you utilizing the blockchain? Let's say, for example, Axie Infinity is the perfect blockchain gaming, and NFT is the perfect way to utilize the blockchain. And then their team is really strong. The community in Twitter is really strong. Their community is the biggest community on Discord. You can see that it's really great project, great team, great community, great traction, perfect execution on the blockchain. Really think of those things. Don't just invest. Let's say, for example, Dogecoin. Matthew said, thoughts on Dogecoin? No thoughts. It's a S coin, so don't look at it. I have an article, guys. You can look at it later. academy.coinstothemoon.com. So this is my blog. However, it's not updated. I itemized there the reasons why I don't like S coins. Blockchain space looks like a scam because of those coins. So I'd rather avoid it. But those are great questions. Thoughts on Metaverse? It's changing how we interact. It's changing the games. Like, for example, if you purchase game assets, you can use it on other games. Like if you play Axie Infinity, maybe you can use your Axie Infinity assets on, let's say, Sandbox or Decentraland. It's changing the game development space in the virtual space. Okay, so thanks, Christian, for asking. The other one is from Sophia. How gas fees can be reduced since the biggest drawback of crypto, especially when it comes to Ether. In our application before, I'm not sure, Sophia, if you saw it, we're running on the likes of Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, and Ronin. So there's a reason, guys, why Ethereum is super expensive, because it's the biggest blockchain in the world. Bitcoin is the most popular, but the most utilized blockchain is Ethereum. If you went to Manila and you think of EDSA, the traffic's always terrible, but people still go there. People still use that route because that's the best route. So similar to Ethereum. So think of Ethereum as EDSA, even though the traffic is terrible, the price is terrible. People still go towards that route because that's the easiest, not sure if that's the fastest, but that's the most popular. Does Bitcoin have an impact to countries' ability to collect income tax? I discussed this earlier. In the Philippines, it's not yet taxed, right? It will only be taxed if you convert your cryptocurrency into fiat, like PHP. If you convert that into PHP, there's an exemption also of 250K. So if you converted less than that, it's okay not to pay tax. But if you converted above that, you really need to pay. And then, thank you, Gian, for asking the question. For Ramel, and I ask additional thoughts why government is reluctant using crypto aside from China. The reasons I mentioned earlier, guys, they can't control it. The people controls it. The government likes control. And then Dustin, thoughts on public figures affecting crypto like Elon Musk and Doge. As much as possible, guys, avoid them. Really focus on people who can, give value to you. So go to Twitter. That's the best place. So for Brent Ibanez, what do you think better investment? Man, I don't invest as much. Again, guys, I'm a developer. I'm not an investor per se. I do trade from time to time, a few coins from time to time, but it's not really my focus. So I'd rather focus on cryptocurrency because that's the industry we are in now. So I'd rather focus on crypto. A lot of people are encouraged to join crypto hype train. Why you shouldn't? Yeah, guys, I invest on projects that will be here for the future. If you join a community, make sure that it's worthwhile. Like if you join Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Aave, or Uniswap communities, Axie Infinity, YGG communities, make sure that they are here in the next 100 years. So be very careful of which community you're gonna join. Sure, sometimes you can earn a lot from investing in something like Shibcoin when Elon Musk tweets about it because he has 50 million or 100 million followers on Twitter. But is it gonna be here in the next 100 years? Is it gonna replace money? Is it solving a big problem? Is the team really good that they're gonna stay for the very long run? So ask questions like that, guys. So I invested on, let's say, for example, SHIB, just to try. It went to 700%. I think Elon Musk or a lot of TikTok influencers shared about it. Went to 700%, then it crashed. if you're the person who bought the top and sold the bottom, especially if you spent your life savings on it, I'd rather support projects that are creating something for the long term. You want here going up consistently. You want that, even if the time frame is very long. You don't want this, and then boom. Think of it as like a turtle versus the rabbit analogy, where even though turtles are really slow, but it would reach the finish line faster than the rabbit. I'm not sure if you agree. Watch it on YouTube, turtle versus rabbit. That's my analogy. You want to invest on a turtle that really creates great project, great team, and it's slowly going to the top, increases in value, right? Rather than a rabbit where it speeds up to the top and it crashes. It stops, right? Not sure if you saw the video, but the turtle keeps on walking, and then the rabbit runs really fast, stops, runs really fast, stops. So you don't want that. You want something that to reach the top. Thanks, Live, for asking the question. Let's go to Ramil. Can it also because of energy impact mining causes pollution? I disagree with the pollution. So imagine the energy used in banks. Even though it's COVID, there's aircon, there's water, there's electricity, right? Imagine how many banks in the world. Imagine how many aircons out there. For example, BDO is one building here in Makati. That's one bank. Imagine there are thousands of banks in the world. Whereas if you just use Bitcoin. I don't want to sound insensitive also, because if we go cryptocurrency 100%, so many people will lose their jobs. And we don't want that. Let's say, for example, in El Salvador, they're already using Bitcoin over Western Union, over their own bank. We need to change, guys. People also has to change. Again, I can relate because my mom used to work in a banking industry. Even my girlfriend works at a banking industry. So if she's hearing this one, I'm going to sleep on the couch. Let's make this slow. The transition should be slow. I'm not sure if you've watched K-drama like Startup, where the janitors there, the security guards are being replaced by AR. We don't have to do it overnight. Transition usually happens gradually. Do it step by step. Don't have to do it overnight. Maybe it's 10 years, maybe 50 years, maybe 100 years. Just be patient. But the most important thing is people need to adapt also with the change that we have.
That was a lot of information to process. I would like to thank Sir Benj Tupaz for sharing his wonderful experience and knowledge as our speaker in this webinar entitled Introduction to Crypto and Blockchain during the USLS CET Clubanata. And to show our appreciation, we give this certificate of appreciation from the ComSci Society of the University of LaSalle, signed by Christian S. Alarde, our CSS Club moderator, Carl Christopher Balbin, our CSS Club president, Jim Jonathan C. Decrepito, our CS Department chairperson, and lastly, Loreto B. Damaso Jr., our CET dean.
I would like to express personally my sincere appreciation to you, Sir Bench, as our resource speaker for sharing your expertise regarding blockchain with us this morning. We have learned a lot from you, particularly controlling our own funds, savings with the help of technology, and reducing middlemen to save money for paying bills. So what you have shared with us will be put into practice. Furthermore, your contribution to the community and your achievements bring great pride and honor to us all at LaSalle, especially to us here in the Department of Computer Science. May you continue to build your name, and we wish you to be more successful in your endeavors. This webinar would not have been successful without all of you. My thanks to our Dean Bob Damasco and all the faculty members from 3 departments, Computer Science, IT, and EMC. So your support is greatly appreciated. And I would like also to extend my thanks to our club moderator, Sir Christian Alade, and his club officers headed by our Balbin as the current CS president, as well as all the attendees in this webinar. So we greatly appreciate your participation. And finally, we thank God for making this event meaningful and successful. So thanks again, Sir Bench, and all the participants for this wonderful and meaningful webinar. Thank you, and God bless everyone.
Sir Jim, Clive, Sir Bob, and the rest of the Computer Science Society, I really appreciate your time. See you in the crypto and blockchain space.